The Algarve region of Portugal boasts a rich history spanning over 3,000 years. Throughout various epochs, the southern coast of Portugal was inhabited by the civilizations originating from the Mediterranean, including the Phoenicians, Greeks, Carthaginians, Romans, and Moors. These diverse peoples left their mark on the Algarve, shaping its cultural heritage and contributing to its historical significance. Let's dive deeper into the fascinating history of the Algarve. The Algarve region saw the presence of Phoenicians, Carthaginians, and Romans. The Phoenicians established trade posts around 1200 BC, followed by the Carthaginian control and the founding of Portus Hanabilis around 550 BC. The Romans conquered the area in the 1st century BC and introduced significant changes. They developed salt and mineral production, introduced large agricultural estates, built infrastructures like roads and bridges, and left behind Roman ruins in various locations. The Romans also Christianized the country and introduced Latin, which eventually evolved in the Portuguese language. After the fall of the Roman Empire, in the 5th century, the Algarve came under the rule of the Romanized Visigoths, who established Catholicism and built the first churches. Meanwhile, in the 7th century, the Islamic region was proclaimed by the Prophet Muhammad in Saudi Arabia, and it quickly spread to North Africa. In 711, Islamic armies crossed the Strait of Gibraltar and began the conquest of the Iberian Peninsula, becoming known as the Moors. These Moorish invaders were Berbers from North Africa and Arabs. Moorish rule in the Algarve lasted over 500 years, from 711 to 1250. The Algarve still bears many influences from this period. The Moors introduced various plants and trees to the region, including almond, carob, fig, and pomegranate trees, as well as the first orange trees. The Arabs also named the region Algarve, meaning the West, as it was the westernmost territory of their empire. The Portuguese language contains approximately 1,000 words of Arabic origin, and many Portuguese town names with prefixes al, ben, and od come from Arabic, such as Albufeira, Alvor, Almancil, Benafim, Ben Safrim, Odsesh, and Odiachere. The Moorish influence is also evident in old irrigation techniques, whitewash houses, and distinctive chimneys. In the 11th century, the Caliphate of Cordoba, to which the Algarve belonged, fell, leading to the Algarve becoming an independent Moorish kingdom with Xilvez as its capital. Today, the town of Xilvez still boasts one of the best preserved Moorish fortifications in Portugal, the Xilvez Castle. In the 8th century, a Catholic county named Portugal was established in northern Portugal. It became an independent kingdom in 1140. The first king of Portugal, Afonso I, expanded the territory by conquering towns from the Moors, including Leiria, Santarém, and Lisbon. The reconquest of these lands from the Moors is known as the Reconquista. The second Portuguese king, Sancho I, aided by a crusader army, launched a campaign from Lisbon to the Algarve. They laid siege to Xilvez, the Moorish capital, and captured it in 1189. Although the Moors temporarily regained control of the town and retained authority over the Algarve until the 13th century, the conquest of Xilvez marked the decline of Moorish rule in the region. In the mid-13th century, the Algarve region was eventually reconquered and integrated into the Portuguese kingdom. With the war against the Moors concluded, Christian settlers migrated to the Algarve and established the first Catholic churches, often by converting former mosques. This transformation took place in towns such as Xilvez, Faro, Lole, and Tavira, while some Moors remained in the Algarve, residing in rural areas and certain towns. Portuguese kings granted them citizenship rights and a degree of religious tolerance. However, in later centuries, the Inquisition compelled both Moors and Jews to convert to Christianity. After establishing stable borders by the 13th century and concluding territorial conquests, Portugal engaged in wars against Castile before shifting its focus to continuing the conflict against the Moors in Morocco. This can be viewed as an extension of the Christian conquest. In 1415, a Portuguese fleet led by Henry the Navigator set sail from Lagos with 200 ships to capture the strategic trade and fortress city of Ceuta in Morocco. The conquest of Ceuta was a significant triumph for Henry, who was subsequently appointed as the Duke of Viseu. Henry acquired other prestigious titles, including Great Master of the Knights of Christ and Governor of the Algarve. He became renowned for organizing Portuguese overseas expeditions and the exploration and control of the African coast. Henry discovered various islands in the Atlantic Ocean, such as Madeira, the Azores, Cape Verde, and others. Throughout Henry's lifetime and beyond, Portuguese conquest in Morocco continued, with the domination of numerous cities like Tangier, Larache, Orzila, El Jadida, Azamor, Mogador, and others. The Portuguese Golden Age came to an end in the late 16th century, following the military defeat of Alcázar Quibir in 1578. Portugal lost its young king, Sebastian, and a significant army in this battle. The country's independence was subsequently lost as the Spanish king, Philip II, inherited the Portuguese throne in 1580. For the next 60 years, Portugal was under Spanish rule, facing challenges in maintaining its vast empire, particularly in Asia. Portions of the Portuguese Empire were lost to the Spanish, Dutch, and English. In 1640, a revolution erupted in Lisbon, resulting in the killing of Spanish governors. This rebellion quickly spread throughout the country, and the Duke of Braganza was acclaimed as the new king by the population. Portugal entered into a 28-year war with Spain known as the Portuguese Restoration War. Numerous fortresses were hastily constructed along the border with Spain to protect towns and villages. In the Algarve, fortresses from this era can be found in places like Castro Marim and Alcotim. Further north in the Alentejo region, the fortress city of Elvas is now recognized as UNESCO World Heritage Site. The colonization of Brazil in the 18th century brought significant wealth to Portugal through the exploitation of gold and precious woods. This wealth had profound impact on the development of Portuguese Baroque art, which is characterized by its elaborate gilt-carved woodwork. The influence of this artistic style can be observed in numerous churches throughout the Algarve region. On November 1, 1755, the Algarve experienced its most catastrophic event in history. A powerful earthquake, estimated to have a magnitude between 8.5 to 9.0, struck the region, causing extensive destruction and loss of life. The impact of the earthquake was particularly devastating in Lisbon, where the city was nearly obliterated. The Algarve also suffered significant consequences from the earthquake, with many coastal villages being hit by a subsequent tsunami. However, Faro was spared from the worst effects of the tsunami due to the protection provided by the sandy banks of the Ria Formosa. Consequently, the capital of the Algarve was changed from Lagos to Faro in the aftermath of the earthquake. From 1595 until the early 19th century, the Algarve functioned as a semi-autonomous region within Portugal, with its own taxation system. However, in 1808, this arrangement changed. In the modern history of the Algarve, the region witnessed an economic revival during the 19th and the first half of the 20th century, primarily driven by the fish canning industry. Fishing, agriculture, and the fish canning industry were the primary economic activities in the Algarve until the 1970s. Since then, tourism has become the region's main economic pillar. Presently, tourism plays a vital role in the Algarve's economy. The history of Algarve is a testament to the region's resilience and ability to adapt to changing times, making it a fascinating destination for history enthusiasts and vacationers alike. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel, Melic Travel, where travel and history meet.